Hello everyone, thanks for joining me in this video. Stop begging Tinubu for pardon. Demand for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu immediate release. IPOB tell the Southeastern governors and leaders, it's high time you stop insulting your personality and focus on what is right. Stop begging Tinubu for pardon. Demand for immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is coming from the indigenous people of Biafra, directing the Southeastern leaders over the continued misplacement of priorities. That they should stop belittling themselves, stop indirectly convicting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu over a case that have not been established. The court of law has exonerated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of all the count charges levied against him and acquitted and discharged Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, what is the motive of the Southeastern governors or the leaders, Southeastern leaders or political leaders demanding for pardon? On what instance? How come they arrive at this particular issue? Demanding for pardon in the sense that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is culpable of whatever allegation levied against him, which the Nigerian government has not proven otherwise. No court within the Nigerian legal jurisprudence has indicted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of any known crime since 2016. He has been persecuted, arraigned, detained, and yet the government of Nigeria could not be able to establish any crime against him. So what is the essence of keeping him behind the bars, even when an appellate court of law within the Nigerian legal system, legal jurisprudence, after subjecting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to such cruel, inhuman treatments, subjugations, beating, blindfolding, and the rest of it, he was arraigned illegally in the court of law, which contravene international conventions and treaty bordering on extradition between Kenya and Nigeria. And being that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was traveling with the British passport, sadly, the British government has not done anything in that regard. Their own supposed citizen is being held hostage, kidnapped, extraordinary renditions, and yet they are keeping mute. That largely suggests that they are conspiracy to the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because you cannot tell me, if you have regard for the office of the citizenry of the British government and you watch your own citizen with your passport travel to Kenya and you have not demanded his whereabouts ever since. In this last July 12th, I think, or so, they said they would debate it at the House of Commons or whatever. But what is the outcome of that? Since 2021, more than 5 years ago, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinary rendition, and yet the British government has been paying lip service to this matter. Because it is clearly perceived that they have vested interests, possibly or allegedly may have masterminded the setup of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The reason why they have not dabbled into it. I can imagine seeing a US citizen being held hostage for 5 years and they keep mute. Just for one single person that was kidnapped within Nigeria, the charge Aziz, the Navy SEALs came and conduct their operations without even the Nigerian government or security operative knowing exactly what has transpired until after the rescue mission was done successfully and dusted. Now your own citizens have been held behind the bars, unjustly subjugated. His fundamental rights been breached, and yet the British is at large. It means that the British citizenship or British whatever is as useless as whatever you can think of. If they cannot ask for whereabouts of one of her citizens being extraordinary rendition, which even the Kenyan court of law have established that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's right, fundamental right, and was grossly abused, violated by the Nigerian government. The Kenyan High Court ruled in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, indicting the Nigerian government and the security operatives over, over what it considered as conspiracy and illegitimate and illegal action. Also fined the government of Kenya for not living up to her responsibilities of protecting the life and the security, protecting the security and the life of the immigrants. That the Constitution guarantees the security and the safety of the immigrants, which the same Kenyan government violated. Now, if you are asking for pardon, what are you trying to send across? That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is guilty, even when an appellate court of law has pronounced him not guilty, discharged and acquitted him, and yet he is being subjected to the same trial, just buying time. So when the so-called leaders or political opinion leaders are asking, calling for, begging for Tinubu to pardon Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, under what condition? Look at what is happening. The Boko Haram, the terrorists are being romanced. They are in romance with the federal government, with the defense headquarters, and the rest of them. These are people, assailants, who have destroyed several communities, who have killed tens, thousands of the Nigerian citizens. Yet, they have been romanced. They have been given amnesty. There are considerations even to reintegrate them into the society and possibly form part of the security architecture. These are people who have ravaged several communities. They sludge the same communities, they occupy them, and the indigenous people of those communities are now living the rest of their life in the IDP, internally displaced camps, scattered all over the country. Within the Nigerian sovereign states or territorial lands. It is quite very unfortunate. Now look at the killings, the adoption in the door, the Fulani, the terrorists invading and overrunning the Bagwalada and the rest of them. People are crying. Look at Bayelsa State. What is happening? The masses are wailing. They are crying helplessly. Now, a country, a government that cannot protect and guarantee the safety of our citizens. So what do you say about that? Now, somebody who have not lifted a pain against the Nigerian state is being held behind the bars, threatened and subjugated. And yet, the people who should know better are now asking that they should pardon, begging for pardon. On the basis of what? On the basis of what? On the basis that he is found guilty or have any count allegation have been established against him. So it is rather mischievous and unfortunate that this is coming from those who should know better, reducing themselves to what I don't understand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has severally cautioned that you should not insult yourselves by calling or begging for his pardon, his release, under what circumstances. Let the government establish any crime they have levied against him. Of course, to no avail for the past decade. Does it mean there is no recourse to the rule of law? Or are they telling us that the Nigerian government, Nigerian state is a lawless state that have no regard to her own laws and principle of justice? Then they will be saying a different thing or making us to understand that that is just the case. Now, I will leave you with this video. A country that cannot defend her citizens, where her citizens are being held hostage, kidnapped, even children of primary school age were kidnapped, handed over a score, and being psychologically, emotionally tortured. While you have an inspector general of police, you have the chief of army staff, you have the chief of navas, the chief of air staff, the chief of defense staff. I mean, you have all the security apparatus, parastatals, functional. You have the defense headquarters. You have the National Intelligence Agency and the rest of them. Where are the intelligence? Where are the gatherings? Where are the area surveillance? That the Nigerian citizen could be threatened, and yet the government that could not guarantee the safety of their own population is holding an innocent man already vindicated by international and local laws or court of law. Kenya is there as a testament. Of course, the Nigerian government legal jurisprudence is that won several court injunctions ruled in his favor. And Nigerian government was asked to pay compensations. And yet, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now asks a question. Tell me, where there is any judicial precedence where someone, an accused, who is set aside, whose scam charges was set aside and discharged, is still standing trial. Make reference to any judicial precedence in the past or current where someone who was discharged and acquitted is still being held behind the bars, standing trial. That amounts to nothing but persecution, is an oppression. Now, the Eastern governors or the Eastern, Southeastern leaders are emboldening the oppressors. They're emboldening the enemies of justice, as people has been calling for justice, rather than calling for justice for immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what he deserves. If Toji Bello, they could tell us that the government of Nigeria allegedly thwarted his arrest, and the rest of them negotiating with them, those who have ruined communities, have overrun state, and the rest of them, local governments are under their disposal, control. What were they asking? For Islamization of the Nigerian state or the region, terrifying the entire region, and yet they could be considered for amnesty, for pardon, for negotiation, for romance, and the rest of them. Why? An innocent person, presumed innocent by the law, by the court of law, it is there. On the 13th of October, 2023, an appellate court of law, the highest appellate court of law within the Nigerian, the appeal court, with a sitting of 6 or 7 judges, they reviewed the case and said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. The allegations, charges levied against him, that the government of Nigeria would not establish any argument or case or allegation levied against him, and therefore discharged and acquitted. It is in Nigerian papers. National dailies published that. So what is that error? What is that offense that they should be pleading for pardon? For state pardon? What has he done? He demanded for the freedom, for justice, for his own people who are being killed, rounded up, just as what is going on today. Look at the level of invasion, overrunning several communities in the eastern region have been overrun, forceful disappearances of the youths. It's ongoing now, and it's been alleged that the military personnel or personalities under military camouflage are forcefully disappearing innocent citizens or youths at various checkpoints, burning them alive. If this is established to be true, then who should be held as responsible? Is it Mazi Nnamdi Kanu responsible for all this? Yet he has given his own word that release me. The continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is escalating the killings, the unrest in the east. Possibly some politician or political opportunists are using that to exploit the common resources of the people. What those who are interested, excuse me, what those who are who have interest in the destabilization of the eastern region are cashing out, using that to destabilize, create artificial insecurity in the east. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have said, release me and I will stop the cause of this insecurity. Just about 2 minutes of my release, I will give an order and that will stop. Anybody involved or engaged in such dastard act will definitely surrender, because the voice of a leader is being respected. So ever since he has been incarcerated, has the same eastern leaders or whatever been able to solve the set of insecurity in the east? The answer is no. Rather, it has aggravated and have blown out of proportion. Today, hardly could people go about their daily activities without fear of being kidnapped, arrested, apprehended, and the rest of them. It is rather unfortunate. It's rather unfortunate that the people continue to behave in such a way and condition themselves to become less humans or less citizens, having not equal opportunities. Sunday Igboho was discharged, accused of the same allegations. Sowore was also accused of such, and also the federal government withdrew from that. Mercy Allah Badejo was also accused of that. And the same federal government, through the Attorney General of Federation, Pabumi, withdraw the case against him. Why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free? These people never went trial. They were never subjected to such cruelty or torture. He stood trial and he won the Nigerian government. So why should any sensible, responsible person be asking for his pardon?
Anywhere, you fair. For bank anywhere was there.
Dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is a video of Nigerian primary school children held hostage in the bush with human beings' skull given to them and guns behind their head that they should cry out for help and to bring ransom if they want to be alive. Primary school children. To the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, those are Nigerian primary school children in the bush giving skull. To the DG of DSS, Adeolu Ajayi, that is a video of primary school Nigerian children in the bushes giving skull, held as hostage with guns to their head. To the Chief of Army Staff, Olufemi Oluyede, that is a video of Nigerian primary school children giving skull, human being skull, and guns to their head for money to be brought before they release them. To the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, That is a video of Nigerian primary school children giving skull and guns to their head. To the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, that is a video of Nigerian primary school children with skull, human being skull given to them, and guns to their head, that they should bring money, else they will not be released, and that will be their fate. To the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, that is a video of primary school children, Nigerian primary school children, holding skull in the bush with gun to their head. To the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Baja, that is a video of Nigerian primary school children giving skull and gun to their head. Inside the bush, they are being held hostage by kidnappers in 2025. If this thing happened during when you people were growing up, I no go take this position one a day today. I just listed the service chiefs, the people that are charged with the responsibility of protecting us in Nigeria. So far, so good. Insecurity is closing up on all of us in this country, and nothing is being done. Kidnappers now have so much confidence to even display these things on social media, make videos and posts. Nothing is being done. To the service chiefs at this point, it's like they need to change the service chiefs at this point. They are incompetent. They can't protect us. They can't. They can't. Everything is being overlooked or underlooked now in Nigeria. If you talk say 1,000 people dying and nobody cares, nothing. Primary school children will go through this. I would say they have not been kidnapping, for crying out loud. They have been kidnapping in Nigeria, but the kidnappers have never had that mind to video kids, primary school kids in their uniform. Primary school children are the ones wearing short uniform and short shirt in their uniform, posted it online, giving them skull. And our politicians are only bothered about 2027. And like I said, by the time they finish with all of us, who won't vote for now 2027? Who?
If you don't know,
That is, of course, a subject of controversy and deliberation. I want to get that via the comment section. Let's discuss these important issues. It's very necessary and very important at this particular time. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be free. Justice for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu continue to reverberate across the entire nations of earth. Possibly the world is watching, and we do hope that in no distant time justice will be served.